Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Mr. JP and the game is Railroads Online. As you can probably tell, we're looking at railway. So, yeah, big thank you to everyone for joining me. This is the coal mine line episode, and I'm doing it as an episode rather than as a build because pretty much I forgot how complicated this build was, and I ended up with about 10 hours of unedited footage. I wasn't editing that and uploading it, so I'm going to do it all in one hit, as it were, live. We're in action, and I'm kind of a little bit hyperactive and a little bit tired because I pulled an all-nighter to build this. So this is being filmed at about 6 o'clock in the morning or something. So we're actually at the far end of the coal mine plateau, and this is the end that doesn't have an obvious route off of it, though there is one. And if I just run along here a little bit, you'll see that waterfall over there. And I'm pretty sure that there is a route that runs along this hillside and around there. And you see this plateau here. I should imagine, since my line's somewhere here, that you could get around that way if you wanted to. But it looks like an utter nightmare, and I decided not to do it. Just decided not to go that way. I swore the second time that I built this line that I'd do it. But yeah, I completely forgot an entire section of this line that you have to build. So this is for turning the locos around. You bring it up here, change these points, go down whichever one you like. Gonna need that set on that one, yep, okay. And then coming down here is, this is a loading and unloading line. Pretty much it's long because it could be. It will get edited later on once I've started bringing trains up here and know roughly how far to go. That's the siding for any extras that I can't unload here because there's no point in taking them back from here. You may as well stay here until they're needed. Got a turntable for turning locos around. Just the largest one. Rails are delivered there. Beams are delivered there. And then at the far end of the yard we've got telegraph shack there, just for getting in and out at the moment. I'm going to move it to somewhere where I want it at some point. Set of points there to go off to those two. Set of points here. There's a dead end there for a shunting loco, or this end of the yard may get edited. And then it heads off down through this bit. And this is the section I forgot about, because around this corner I thought it went into a big hairpin U-shaped left, which it does. But then it goes through a gap and across a gully and through a load of other stuff before it gets to the U-bend I thought about, which was interesting. So rather than walk the line, which will take a little while, we'll run it on a loco. So we'll head over to the sawmill. I know what I didn't check whilst I was at the lost. I am an idiot. That's what I meant to check. It's those. Because I want to be delivering stuff. I don't want to be over there at any point. And they're all set wrong, which is what I thought they would be. Always check your points. There we go. Okay, so back at the sawmill, we're all familiar with it. You can see here I've got a load of the rails on from down at the smelter. I bought them up earlier to save the journey, because that's pretty much the corded line again, essentially. And then we've got a load of beams, and I haven't loaded them up in any ratio for the sawmill at the moment. I've just literally loaded 50 of the rails and the rest beams, and we'll see where we get to. I really must Google the ratios. I think it's pinned on the Steam page as well. Somewhere there's a map of the industry tables. I presume it's still valid. Without a Discord it's difficult to know these days. So let's get started. Try putting the reverser in the right direction, it helps. There we go. Too busy wondering whether it had any fire in it. I don't even know if we're going to make it up to the mine. This load might be too heavy. It's second strongest loco in the game. It should handle 12 cars up a 3% incline, but we'll see. So yeah, did a little bit. Yeah, I am on the right line. I had to check then. Did a little bit of work on this yard. Got a few more sidings, a few more facilities in. I think this was here in the Cordwood video, but it's a little bit clearer because I took out some trees. So yeah, these are 3 sidings for this train, Cordwood, another train just like this that I'm going to buy, and hopper cars, 2 runs for, I could probably get more than I need in there, so that's all good. There's another line there which is a service line for the coal tower, and I'm going to bring this line further down here. I'm going to run it parallel with this one until it gets down to this junction here, just to give me a bit more room and to allow me to run a parallel loading line system that doesn't really interfere with any mainline operations. It'll be a bit of fun, bit of editing later on. First I've got to build a line from the warehouse down to the ironworks. Otherwise there'll be nothing to do anything with coal with other than use coal-fired locos, but that's the whole point of this exercise. Money and coal. The locomotives and coal, obviously, to fuel the locomotives. Otherwise there's no point in owning them. This game takes a little while, by the way. You will probably hear the sound of me eating biscuits or drinking coffee because it's very early in the morning, and without coffee I don't do sentence making, I don't do thinking, I don't do anything. So yeah, if I could get away with it I'd probably have coffee running on an IV. But yeah, it will be okay. It is early. But yeah, I rather like these big curves we can build now in the game quite easily like this. They look a lot better than the older ones. I loaded up one of my older games, I looked at the tracks. Either I got better at track building, or the track building tools have improved. As for track building, you're going to have to learn it yourselves by trial and error, because that is the process I use to build tracks. Having looked over the edited footage, yeah, definitely trial and error. So, for those who didn't catch any of the other videos, this line services all of the mines and the smelter down in this valley that you can see just through the trees there. You can probably see the Shay parked up somewhere there. Where would it be? Nah, too many trees. Wait till we get onto the bridge. A lot of people erase a lot of trees. I tend to leave them as close to the line as possible. It's kind of like the look. Personal preference, it's your model railway, and that's what this game pretty much is, model railways. So yeah, this big bridge can be a bit of a complicated build, but these longer legs on the metal structure bridges make it a bit easier. So yeah, this smelter works is where we picked up these rails from for the coal mine. I think the coal mine's the only one that uses the rails. I might be wrong about that. It might be that the oil field or somewhere do. But yeah, so this is quite a well tested piece of line. I've taken a few loads along here. I know this works, or it should work. Like, glitches happen, derailments happen. For all I know, this train's a little lighter and it's going a little faster, who knows. But coming up is a set of points, and if you turn left you would head for, on this layout, the iron mine and the smelter. They're on the same line, effectively. You can see the end of the smelter line just curving up the hill above the loco now. That goes up to a bridge a little bit further up, which is kind of spindly and made of metal work, so you can't really see it in this valley. But it's sort of square in line with where that track is going up now, but it runs left and right. then the track comes back this way over the waterfall and rejoins this one after splitting for the iron line. I like straight pieces of track, by the way. I think they're good. I'm going to experiment later on with high-speed locos and smaller loads and that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see how long this takes. So yeah, this is a split off that I was talking about for the iron mine, and we are now on to new track. So from this moment on, literally anything can happen, and the first thing that can happen has. Mr. JP. Forgot to set the points. I forgot this set of points was set that way. Let's Johnson stop it. There we go. For those who aren't aware, Johnson stopping is throwing the reverser the opposite way that the loco's going and then opening the regulator and letting the cylinders act as brakes. It's fine in railroads online, not recommended in the real thing. Tends to have a habit of breaking reversing gear and exploding cylinders, and other bad things happen depending on the type of locomotive you're in. But for railroads online, when you've forgotten to set some points, it's a very fast way of reversing a loco. So that's the first thing that's gone wrong. But hopefully that'll be the only thing now. Something's gone wrong. Otherwise it would have been a derailment, but as I say, from here on anything can happen. And probably will. Just to scare everybody who sounds turned up, because I've got no idea what the sound balance is like on these videos. For all I know, I'm really quiet and the locos are really noisy. If it's that way, let me know and I will try and balance the sound a bit better. So yeah, I like straight lines, as I was saying, which means that this line, I sort of, there's a balance between functional and decorative here, and I want to run 24 car and 26 car trains up this hill, so it's an average of 3% from the bottom of the hill up to the iron mine, which is a twisty turny nasty bit. This bit's nice and straight, and I skimmed the ground so low there that it's actually sticking through the track bed, which I don't like, but we can live with it, because it does make it look nice and, well, fitting. You know, it's near the ground. From here on, I think it gets a bit sketchy. Here I decided to avoid staying on the ground, and because I'm a little bit of an errant person, and because the lowest route through these little bunch of hills was either following that hillside all the way over there, which wasn't in my game plan, or going over there, which also wasn't in my game plan. So I split the difference and went down the middle. I quite like the look. You know, someone cut a nice flat river through here, I mean, why not use it, right? It's the flattest, lowest route. This is what railroads use. I didn't think it was this bad when I cut the trees out along it and sort of ran along it, but now I'm looking at it, it's insane. It's like a roller coaster. It's pretty cool. It does lead to a certain look. I love these creosote bridges, by the way, I think they're great. They really give the coal mine line a dirty look, as it were. Hopefully this summer I'll get back to my actual model railway, and I'll be able to get into painting some stuff dirty and that kind of thing, and maybe get some footage onto my YouTube channel of it. We'll see how that goes. It takes a lot longer to build a model railway in real life than it does in railroads online. I think in 3 months I finally got some things actually running on it and got it all finished and in working condition, but I never got any decorating done before my medical problems hit me. Sorry, until an NHS doctor stabbed a needle through me and killed me, whichever way you look at it. But there we go. So yeah, as I said, straight lines because we need speed, because we're what, say I did 5 minutes of waffling at the start, we're 10 minutes along the line, and I'm gonna be honest, we're not even halfway really, maybe about halfway now, so yeah. But it is a very pretty place. You've got all this valley to go building up, and you've got this nice river to follow along, which I did, because the other route is up and over this hillside somewhere. It's somewhere up here on this plateau at the moment, and it's rising. And it goes uphill and it disappears off to the left there, and I didn't like the look of it at all. I walked up and down this valley about 3 or 4 times scouting out different routes. I looked at that side, I looked at this side. I decided this straight line down the middle. You can see why I did this straight line down the middle. I mean, look at it. There is actually a straighter line that goes nearly straight through all the way over that bit there, but I chose this one. Mainly for cutting a massive corner out at the bottom as well. I think we've already cut about 5 minutes off my last route, so done quite well. But yeah, the other line that's sort of drilled out and marked on the map is somewhere over here. I have no idea where it runs through this valley. I've got a feeling the track bed picks up again somewhere down here, and that might be it ahead of us actually, because this is on a bit of that old track bed, but it goes up and down like a yo-yo. I don't get how you'd ever haul heavy cars along it. There it is, I think, up there. That straight line through there. It's just ridiculous. Like, if you like roller coasters, maybe. I have tried to build along there before, and it's what put me off building coal mine lines for a little while, that experience. The locomotives might be able to get along there, but your character can't walk it. So I ended up with this nice straight bridge piece through here, which I quite like, as I say. Quite happy. I'm happier with the look of this line than I was with my last one. Should have put concrete across that bit. Oh well. You can see that line up there. It's at the top of the screen at the moment. Sort of that plateau that runs along parallel with us. It's just so high up. I mean, it probably gives you a really nice view of this valley and everything once you take the trees out of the way. But why would you want to go up and down that hill with a load? I just don't get it. When there's this lovely valley. I mean, admittedly, in real life, this valley would be full of snow and ice in the winter. But being on the side of a hill slope in a icy, snowy area isn't necessarily the best place to be either. So yeah. Yeah, I think I'd choose the valley floor. Assume, well, look at the trees, it's not glacial, let's be honest, it's not going to ice up down here and rip everything out. So, yeah. Who knows, it's a computer game, it's not real life after all. But yeah, so as I say, I kind of stopped being scenic through here because I wasn't going to use high level embankments, but the ground isn't that far up and I'm only halfway up the trees, and there's an embankment taller than this near my house for a main line now, so yeah. I tried to keep it real with concrete and bridge works, I really did. Right, now we start cornering, now we start getting dodgy, things get steep, and this could be where things get crazy and I could just end up hauling the entire train off the track or derailing. Oh no, tell a lie, I'm further away than I thought on this nice curvy bit. I could have straightened all of this out and I could have gone a completely different route, but I was trying to keep the curves big. I don't like seeing locomotives rattling left and right and rocking around as they're pulling loads along. It's a bit scary. The edge of danger. The health and safety video, shaking hands with danger. It's an oldie from the 80s, and I think it's American, but it's hilarious. Don't get me wrong, good safety advice, but absolutely hilarious. In the same way as certain military training videos. So yeah, as you can see, this route just follows this river, pretty much, all the way up the valley, because it is the flattest ground. Yeah. I couldn't argue the logic of it. I sat night before last with a friend, and we argued this out, and it was like the river, every time the river. And up here at least it's like higher than the river, so that when the river floods in the spring when the snow melts, it doesn't wash the railway line out. See, this was one of the tight corners. I was worried about this one. No, we're all good. We're all good. Yeah, this is where we start climbing. We start to get above the terrain, and I don't really like this look. But it was that or follow the entire valley round. It's huge. Where we were at the start of the video is just up in the top centre screen at the moment. So over there's that waterfall route that I was saying about. You can see what I mean about the other route, climbing up and going around there. Or it may come down and meet this one and go up. I didn't see the point in climbing a big hill, rolling down it to climb this beast. Because this hill is a beast. We're actually directly below the coal mine at the moment. It's up that ridge that I'm looking at up there somewhere. So this follows what appears to be a track bed all the way up that starts on the plateau. If you've got the coal mine on your left, you're looking the right way. And it kind of doubles back on itself for a set of valleys. So climbing up through here, this entire thing's an average of about 3%. There's a couple of places where it flattens out. You can just see the wall of the track that we're going to be on in the background at the moment, back there, when the smoke's in the way. There it is. And you can see it's pretty harem-scarum through there. There's some more of it there. It's pretty rough and ropey. But this bit's nice and smooth. Like, you've got a huge amount of room along this plateau to choose a line. I went with snaking and wide, working on the theory that big curves are less dangerous for derailments, even if they are a little bit slower. Depending on whether you can accelerate up the hill after a tight curve, of course. So yeah, we've still got the train on, so that's a good thing. This bit's a bit shallower than 3.5%, but I did have to tighten it down, as you can see by the locos having a little bit of a rocking time on it. But hopefully it'll stay on. It does ease off up here on this part of the corner. I don't know what this hill's designed for, whether it was designed for the zigzag line or whether it's designed for mountain goat locos, geared loco territory. But I was like, I'm putting a push rod loco through this. It's too long for geared locos, and changing trains halfway, and no, I'm a one-horse man. If I'm gonna use two locos, I'm gonna strap them together and double head it. Ooh, pace is starting to slow down a little. She's starting to chuff. Yeah, we're making it though. Now here, the track bed is below and to the right, and then below and to the left. It snakes all over the place and goes through this horrendous corner. And it is horrendous. It's got a massive incline on it and a few other problems. It's steep as anything. Yeah, it's got a few issues, this corner. But once I'm around that tight bit at the end there, it seems to have been alright. Actually getting some pace on. Of course I built that level. But round here gets a bit hectic. As you can see, it's all steep gullies and craziness along the edge of a ridge. It's insane. They do get these nice pretty bridges. I do like the bridges across the gullies part of it, but following these walls around the track, you end up building, deleting a couple of times before you get what you want. Or something that is just going to work. So that's as important as anything else. You come around this final corner and there it is, just like that. keen on how tight all of this was, but it's not so bad, it's working out. See how big a 12-car train is when it fits up here. But yeah, that's the route that I used to the coal mine. So, stick around for the unload, I guess. But yeah, not even sure I'm going to turn the train round. I might just reverse it. It's all downhill from here, literally. And the coal mine can store a massive amount of coal. I didn't realise that. Kinda handy. I wonder if you can fill up Coal Locos under that coal hopper. I'll have to try that one out. Rolling, get some of these unloaded and see where we're at. $11,675. Okay. That worked out quite nicely. Why not? Bit of a risk on that one. Wasn't sure it was going to actually fit for the unload. Thinking telegraph stations at either end for moving around when doing this might be a good idea. This area is going to get changed around. You can see that now. As I say, 24 car trains up here gets long, but at the same time it means you have to drive that journey less. So, depends what you want to do and what you're trying to achieve. Should really put some markers down, didn't think about that. That would have told me at least where these cars are. Colby forming. That's 30 in there. So pretty soon should be worth actually bringing a Coal Loco out of the box, as it were. probably gone too far now. Could just turn the loco around, and that would allow me to do the shunting from somewhere where I can see what I'm doing, but seeing what you're doing, yeah, who needs to do that? Okay, so I bought 7 times 3 be 21. Yeah. So it's used up 20 beams. $20 beams for every 10 rails. Okay. So that's two wood for every 1 of rails. Okay. Now I know the ratio. So yeah, this is coal mine. As you can see, it's taken half an hour to drive it and unload. So you can save a little bit longer to load up and drive back. So round trip's about an hour and 10 minutes. Nailed 50 coal, which is kind of handy. So yeah, another couple of runs, because I can bring all beams next time. And since it'll take me 80 beams to do that in, and that should give me enough coal at least to start running Coal Locos, which will be probably the next episode, because it's going to take me a little while to sort all of this stuff out working properly and fiddle a little bit. And I need to also build a line from the freight depot here, down here, around this corner and down to the ironworks. And then from the ironworks whole stem to the oil field. There will be a line from the oil field to the refinery. I don't know whether I'm going to go straight across or whether I'm going to go around. And then from the refinery I'm going to come back up to the freight depot, because that's sort of the final hit. So nearly there on the construction side of things. And then I just need a friend of mine who's got the game, or a friend of mine who needs to get his internet sorted out, to join me, and we can have some multiplayer fun and actually live up to the online part of Railroads Online. It's the details. I do like the details, all the little brake shoes and everything. It's a great game. Really is starting to develop now. So thank you very much for joining me, everybody, and I will catch you later on. Have a good rest of the weekend, and well, enjoy your railroads. Thanks for viewing and subscribing and commenting and getting involved. I love all that, so it's good. It's good. Thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe.